Howdy guys, Timothy Bishop here. And I'm about to go on my walk. My sexy walk. That's what I always say. It's on my diarrhea. Anyway, I can't tell where those voices are coming from. Let's see. Well, we'll figure it out as we go. Oh, it must be over there. Okay, whatever. Jeez. Yeah, there's some vlog so far. Me saying whatever, trying to figure out where. Okay. Alright, so, good news and bad news, guys. First off, let me just say that I tried to make a video yesterday about this, and I ended up just not really being too happy with it, so I'm going to try this again. But the thing about that video that I made yesterday was that if I had posted it, and you're not going to believe this, but if I had posted it, I would have put it up on Jealous Guy. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. So I guess that's the good news, is that I'm thinking about bringing back Jealous Guy. Like, I don't know how just yet. Maybe occasionally just posting certain kinds of videos there, or posting the occasional bonus vlog there, or bloopers there, or take myself snoring and put that on there. I mean, I don't know. I could take like my craziest videos and just put them there. I don't know. Like my best dump or something. Because I have that. Like the best dump I've ever taken in my life. I have that recorded. It's a sound recording, but so there's no visual, thank God. But yeah, well, so yeah, that's the good news. Jealous Guy maybe coming back soon. And the other thing is, well, the bad news, okay. The bad news is about the package videos. To be honest, guys, it's getting to be more trouble than it's worth, to tell you the truth. I don't know, and it's nothing against you guys at all. It's not your fault at all. It's totally mine. It's just that I think I enjoy opening letters and packages a lot more if I don't have the camera running in my face, so I don't feel like I have to embellish my reaction. And, you know, because it's starting to wear on me a little bit, trying to, you know, I think it's nice what I was doing, but at the same time it's too easy for people to take advantage of it, like do it just to get mentioned in a video, which I'm not saying anyone specific. I'm not trying to accuse anyone of that. I'm just saying that overall that would be like a large, you know, motivation for someone to do it. But I feel like such a bad person for saying that, because it's like these people are sending me something and then I'm accusing them of taking advantage of me. I mean, how convoluted is that? You know? I don't know. But in all honesty, I think what I'd rather do is just go over the messages and packages on my own, and then maybe afterwards, you know, I could come back and just do a quick run through of the highlights and like show what I got and everything and who sent it and all that stuff. And that kind of, I think that would just be easier for me generally. And that would be better for me, and at least that way I could still acknowledge you guys in some way, because I sure don't want to stop doing that. I've had too many people tell me they love those videos, and I can't imagine why, but they do. It's really beautiful trees. Look at the leaves falling scattered across the parking lot. This pavement is really hot, though. It's kind of getting on my nerves, man. I don't know why it's so hot today. Shouldn't have worn this shirt. Jeez, man. Okay, so we'll do something scary now, and instead of from the side, now you're seeing me from the front. How do you like that? I never just get a straight up shot of my face. Like every single other vlogger that I have ever seen, just about, like 95% of them, it's just a face shot, you know? And I think face shots are boring. I don't know. It's like, you know, this isn't your driver's license photo, you know? So, let's change the subject. Alright, now Proton John, if you're watching, I'm guilty of perpetuating a terrible lie, my friend. You asked me if I'd put in my application for the passport to go to Canada for the Runaway guys, because we're probably going to do that like in November and meet up at his place up in Canada. And I told him I did it 2 weeks ago. And it's been about a week now since I told him that, so now it's like 3 weeks. Well, so this is more bad news, good news stuff. That was the bad news. Sorry to you for that if you're watching. The good news is I went out and I did the application today. I actually went out Wednesday, but they said I had to schedule an appointment, so I came back today at 9:45 a.m. and I did the appointment, and the funniest thing happened. The guy sitting across from me, okay, right? He's checking out my information, and he's kind of like mumbling to himself the way that people do when they're looking over something to make sure it's all right. So he's all like, Timothy Bishop, $165, yeah, blah, blah, 1439, supposed to read, that's right. And as he's mumbling this information to himself, I kid you not, he rips this loud, juicy fart from his ass. And I know it was a fart because it came from a completely different direction than where his mouth was, where the sound's coming from his mouth. This sound was coming from a completely different direction, about 2 feet below where his mouth was. So I can only assume it blew from his anus. And let me tell you something, that was one of the most disgusting. Okay, I'm kidding, it wasn't disgusting. It was but it was really, it was like one of those bubbly Donald Duck, that, you know, like one of those kind of farts. And he did it, he timed it really well. I was actually impressed with the amount of subterfuge he managed to execute while dealing with releasing this much needed release of methane that was trapped in his colon. So anyway, yeah, but it was like right on the number 7. He's like 107. At first I couldn't believe I'd heard it. He just kept going like nothing had happened, so I just kept fiddling with the stuff in my wallet like I didn't hear it either. I found it surprisingly easy to keep a straight face, but then I have no problem doing that in an adult situation, trust me. I guess some other good news is that, you know how I gave up chocolate a couple of years ago? I actually lost like 15 pounds when I did that. Well, I'm doing it again now. About 5 days ago, bought a bunch of granola bars with chocolate chips and chocolate coating, which I know that still counts as chocolate, but that's the only chocolate I've had now for 5 days. And so I've given up all the Little Debbie's, the candy bars, all that nasty ass crap. Giving it all up once again. So, because I can tell right now, even as I'm walking, I feel like I must weigh 260 pounds right now. And that is not even funny. Because I've never been any higher than 240. The highest I've ever been when I weighed myself was 245, and I haven't weighed myself in a few months. And I know ever since I quit my pick and save job, there's no doubt I've lost a lot of that physical activity. So I can only imagine what I weigh right now. It's gotta be bad. So I need to get a lid on this, because it's getting to the point I can't even wear my pants anymore. If you look down here, look at this. This is my t-shirt. This is like normal, right? I mean, that's disgusting, you know? You don't want to look at that shit. Now, I know I said that part of the reason I hadn't been vlogging much lately is because I kept thinking, you know, I need to do the packages video instead. But there's actually been another reason, and that reason is Fantasy Online, which is a game, actually, that I've mentioned before, I think. It's a game on Facebook, but it's actually on Congregate and several other gaming sites as well. But I started playing it about a month, actually probably 2 months ago, and I just got hooked. It's one of these Skinner box kind of games, I guess is what you call it. It's like where it, you know, it gives you just enough of a reward to keep you going to get to the next one, you know. And but grinding in the game is painfully slow, and I'm not trying to complain at all, because it's an amazing game. It's terrific. Because what happens actually is you get up to a soft cap on level, and enemies stop giving you experience when you get to level 75. But you can still gain experience if you mooch off of someone else, which basically means if you group with someone and you split the experience with them, then you can continue gaining experience past level 75. So I made an alternate account and got it up to level 70, which that alone probably took a week to do that. A week of sitting there grinding for like 4 or 5 hours a day. Finally, I got it up there. Yeah, so once I got the alternate account up to level 70, then I was able to group it with my main account, and my main account was able to gain experience. But the problem was that my alternate account was a lot weaker, because I didn't bother to go through and get all the buffs and everything, so I didn't have anything hardly. So I had like bare minimum maybe some, well, that's actually a pun, because the Berserker armor is the best you can get, aside from like the really good stuff. But, yeah, so I spent like all this time. So now all of a sudden, you know, I was fighting enemies with a weaker character, because if I fought them with my main character while we were grouping, there would be no experience to split, because that account wouldn't be gaining experience. So I had to beat the enemies with the level 70 character to gain experience to split between this and my old account. And wow, just and so I was gaining half as much experience, and just it was so long. Like, it must have taken me a week just to get from 75 to 80, but eventually I did get to 80. And there are other ways to gain experience. I don't mean to get so specific about this, but it's a cool game though. It's really cute. And surprisingly, I was looking over the message boards for the game the other day, and they were talking about music. There was a thread about music in there, because there's like a music track that you can optionally play in the game, and it's like a cool little instrumental, kind of relaxing orchestral sort of piece. And so I just kind of, you know, I didn't really think much of it. I just kind of went in there and posted a link to my instrumental for Hang In There, a song that I wrote. Within a day, the owner of the game sends me a message saying, you know what, I like that song. So it looks like maybe the instrumental for Hang In There may eventually be a song that you can play in the game, which is totally cool. It's hard to believe that. I'm not sure exactly how many people play the game, but because when I really think about it, it's probably like 2,000 or 3,000, which is really not that much. I mean, that sounds like a lot to me right now, but then it's like, well, why does that sound like a lot to you when you have 10,000 subscribers on your account? Isn't that a lot too? It's like, yeah, that is. It didn't hit me until I thought about that. I was like, well, you know, that's actually not gonna be that big a deal that I have this music on that game, because more people heard it through my YouTube account than they ever will through the game, probably. And I never even thought of it that way, that I had that much of an audience, more so than the entire playing population of a popular Facebook game. It's hard to believe that. I've been talking way too long, so I'm going to turn you off now. And I will see you next time on either here or Jealous Guy. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have any ideas, but I'll try to come up with something. Maybe another fighting video or something. I don't know.